Hey geeks, it's Lauren Hawkins.
It's Travis Dietrich.
And when we're not driving 8 hours from Ohio to go to the Albany, New York meetup,
Or getting stuck behind trucks.
we're going geeking on Walt Disney World with Curtis and the whole geeking family. Woo! Where's our pups up?
Hey, Disney World geeks, Curtis Stone here, and welcome to episode 465 of the Geekin' on Walt Disney World podcast. This week, Wendy Fox guest hosts and reviews my June trip report. You geeks are a hard act to follow when it comes to trip reports, but I'm going to try and do my best to give you all my resort details, tons of food reviews, fun experiences and stories, and a fantastic bunch of Geek Meets. Now, I've been having fun talking about my trip reports and all of my friends that go down to Disney World for about 8 years. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. I started the podcast with my daughter Lindsay talking about our Disney World trips, and then we brought on you Disney geeks to tell your trip stories. Our listeners are so positive, caring, generous, and they are experienced Disney geeks. You'll get lots of ideas and tips for your next trip to Disney World from their real-world experiences and trip reports. We encourage a family atmosphere here on the podcast, and before too long, they were calling me the Podfather. And we'd love for you also to join our Geekin' family. We have an amazing private discussion group in Facebook. Search for Geekin' on WW Family in Facebook. It's a great place to ask your questions, share your trip pictures, and engage with one of the best groups of Disney World geeks out there on the internet. And we're also independent Disney authorized travel guides with FTC Elite Travel. FTC Elite Travel is an authorized platinum Disney travel agency. We'd love to be your Disney travel guides and help you book your room, tickets, and dining reservations. You'll notice many of our guests on the podcast, like Wendy, who's hosting this week, they book their trips or they transfer their trip bookings to the Traveling Tiaras. And that's my wife, Margita, and her good friend, Auntie Judy. Email them at travelingtiaras@gmail.com. Thank you so much, Wendy, for booking your Geekin' cruise with Margita today. Yes, on Sunday. Well, we were over in Albany. We're going to talk all about that big event we had in Albany this weekend. Thanks, Wendy, for booking the Geekin' cruise. That's the Disney Wish in February. You know, don't wait. The Wish is getting filled up for February trip. It's not like Disney World. They've got like unlimited capacity for the most part, but the Disney Wish does not. So we really would love to see you on the Disney Wish, see you on the Geekin' cruise. Join Wendy and the rest. I'll tell you everybody who's going so far, but we'd love to have you on the cruise with us coming February. Now the featured trip report is my trip report. Thank you so much, Wendy, for being a guest host and bringing on all those questions from the Geekin' family, like Andy Hoffman, Amy Rhodes, Lee Leary, Johnny Jamerson, Brandy Walsh, Brooke Everett, and Nancy Patterson. Oh, Cousin Heather also asked a question too. We talk about my airport transportation to and from the resorts, and I had two fantastic resorts, the Riviera and the Bay Lake Tower. And I tried to go deep on the food explanations. Connections Eatery, Tokyo Dining, Columbia Harbor House, Crystal Palace, Woody's Lunchbox, Brown Derby Lounge, Cape May Cafe, Boma, Grand Floridian Cafe Breakfast, Rose and Crown Fireworks Party, Festival Booths, the Contempo Cafe, Skipper Canteen, Ronto's Roasters Breakfast. You got the kettle corn, cold brew over at the Galaxy's Edge, the plant-based lobster roll, Captain Cook's salad, and Cinderella's Royal Table. Wow, lots of food. some of my magical moments, first time experiences, geek meets. Yeah, we were struck by the great unpleasantness too. Did I find a hat? We'll answer that question. Things I'd do different on my next trip. Some stories like the popcorn bucket hunt, and I lost something again. And then we finish off with the Wendy Fox family tradition of my favorite memories. Well, thank you, Wendy Fox, for hosting my podcast and trip report. I hope you enjoy my trip report to Walt Disney World.
I was going to say, we have to start right at the beginning with the whole trip setup. When was the trip? Who were you with? All those details. Start with that.
Oh, we're starting now?
You said you hit the record button. I think it's going to be a couple hours. We just start settling in.
No chit chat, huh? Get right to it.
There you go.
Hey, wait, let me give you the...
Okay. Are you doing that for yourself? Are you introducing yourself?
No fun Disney World facts about me or anything like that? Everyone knows me, right?
I think so.
All right.
Any new ones that you came up with on this trip and any new facts?
No, I don't know. We'll see as we go through this. But thank you for doing this, Wendy. The tradition continues with you doing my trip reports.
Absolutely.
And then we'll definitely get Judy and Ken and Margita together.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd like to have Judy and Ken definitely have some time, more time for themselves. So
yes.
But what did I send you? Like 9 pages of notes?
You sent me 9 pages of notes, and I think 4 of them were food.
Now you know how I feel. Yeah, I think it's more than that on food.
Yeah.
So it'll settle in. Yeah, so this trip was planned for quite some time for Judy and Ken's 50th wedding anniversary, with Margita and Judy putting together all these plans for some time. So June 4th through the 13th. That's why we went in June, particularly for Ken and Judy's 50th wedding anniversary. Margita and I had our 33rd and May 20th. So it was kind of our anniversary trip. It was a trip that I was really excited for Margita to take because she's been away for several years because of COVID. So I was really hoping this was going to be, and we planned it around what she wanted to do for the most part, but we'll talk more about that as we get in.
Yes. So before we get into the resorts and the food, was this a more relaxing trip than a hectic pace of G3?
I even said to Margita, I hope you're planning. She's one that she just loves the parks and wants to go hard. Yeah. Now, I knew I figured it was going to be hot. Just from, of course, I talk to geeks all the time. I don't know that we've ever been in June, as I think back to it. We've been in August. And I don't know. June here has been pretty cool up in the Northeast. I mean, this morning it was like 51 degrees as we're recording this, still late June. But it was hot. So I was really hoping that we would take a different tactic on this. And it ended up that way because of what we'll talk about later. So, yeah, it was definitely, I don't know if relaxing is the right word. I definitely went at a slower pace than normal. I'll talk about, this was something that I really enjoyed, was that we talk about this a lot of times as a strategy in the parks, especially when it's hot or when you got kids, to go early in the morning, take a noontime break, maybe at the pool or a little nap, and then go back at night. And that was definitely something that I got into a pattern of late in the trip. Good. So I enjoyed that.
That was one of Andy Hoffman's questions. He wanted to know if you did take a midday break to get out of the heat. So you did take advantage of that.
Yeah, certainly the second half of the trip for sure.
Okay. So the trip was planned. You fly into MCO. How did you get from the airport to the resort, and how did it go? Another question from Andy.
Yeah, and I think this is an important question I'm asking everyone comes on the podcast because of the Magical Express that's no longer providing service. And there's questions. We're getting great reports of people's experiences. I took advice from Chris Futrell, who matter of fact, as we're recording this, Wendy, he's going to be the trip report coming out Monday that I've been editing. Okay. But I somewhere along the line, either during that, I think it was during that conversation, he mentioned Lyft. Now, I used Uber probably for the first time. We kind of joke about it because our good friend Samantha, she was teaching me it while we were in New York City. But
Yes.
I did Uber, and I don't get much of a chance to use those I don't need those services that much where I live.
Right.
But at the airport, I thought it made a lot of sense. I talked Margita into it. I added the app at the Hartford airport. Mm-hmm. Made sure I had it connected to a credit card and all that jazz. Good. But it worked out really well. Although we did mess up. I wasn't sure where they picked up people. Remember, you and I had this problem too.
Right. Well, because we were where the rental cars were. So we weren't on the level that I initially thought that we were, because we were in the rental car. And then, I was a little flustered in not being able to rent a car. So
I had the same kind of experience, although we hadn't already contacted the Lyft driver. She was asking me to, but I was like, I don't even know where they're going to pick us up. And I went to where it said taxis, thinking that might be the place, and it's not. So if anyone's thinking, if they see the taxis, I think it was the same level where we picked up our bags. Actually, it would have been a lot easier to stay where we were.
Right out the door and all the way down to the end. Yes.
Because that's the one thing for sure. You have to pick up your own bags now. But yeah, Lyft driver was fantastic. Great. I thought the prices were great. You have lots of options there. Mm-hmm. But to me, if you can get from to the airport like $50, and it was definitely less than that. So yeah, even with your tip and stuff. So that worked out just great. Good, nice, very nice car too. So
yeah, I think too, it's worth noting that sometimes you really need to look at both Lyft and Uber, because sometimes there'll be a price difference, and a big price difference for a small amount, like a $5 price difference when you're talking about, $12 or $15.
Okay. So
it really is good to have both of them and look at both of them.
Yeah. So I tried that one with Lyft, and the big advantage too is you go right to your resort.
Exactly.
As opposed to taking one of the Mears buses and having to stop a couple of times, which was fantastic because we had lots of plans. We actually had more going on that first day than we normally would. Mm-hmm. Talk about that. That was fun. Yeah. So that worked out really well, both to the airport, from the airport, both ways was fantastic.
All right. So where do they take you? Where did you stay?
Yes. So we have DVC, and we had some points stored up during this COVID time we hadn't used. Mm-hmm. And again, this was very much planned with Judy and Margita. The Riviera, which I had stayed G3 with Glenn Kessler. If you've been listening to the podcast, you know that. Yes. 3 of us guys were in, that was just a deluxe suite. But I had a 2-bedroom at both Riviera and Bay Lake Tower. So
nice.
First time at a 2-bedroom for Riviera. Of course, Margita and Judy had never stayed there. But Bay Lake Tower, I've stayed there several times. It's my home resort.
Yes.
2-bedroom suites are fantastic.
How was your rooms? How were the rooms?
So I see Amy Rhodes asked us to compare. I was thinking, it's funny how she asked that question, because I was thinking of that during this trip. I do that kind of thing, compare what's my favorites, and maybe it's the nature of being the podcaster in me, but I love the Disney Towers. So you got the Grand Destino, which I've stayed. These are fairly new to the Disney World. You got the Riviera and the Bay Lake Tower. And I would put them in that order. I love those 3 towers. Grand Destino is fantastic. There's nothing wrong with it. We've talked about it. It's
that's
like
your number 1.
No, that's my number 3. Number 3.
Okay, so what's your number 1?
Bay Lake Tower.
Okay.
Bay Lake Tower is still my favorite. And I'll tell you what stood out from me. Well, let's talk about Riviera first a little bit. I mean, 2-bedroom suites, they're glorious. There's so much room. You got I love the rain shower and the huge master bedroom, king bed. You've got the outside balconies, which are fantastic. We were on the 5th floor. I mean, I would have liked to have been up higher, but it wasn't too bad. We could see Epcot, and you could see the ball all lit up. I'm so glad they did that enhancement to the ball. All right. That's fantastic. Nice. You can see the fireworks. And of course, it's located on the Skyliner, which we all know is a game changer.
Right.
You know what? I got a really good chance when you and I were up there, when you did your scavenger hunt. I only got a short time up there, and I was really upset that
at Topolino's.
Yeah. Remember, we had the little bar hopping piece there, which was a lot of fun. But I kept saying, I want to go get back up there. I was staying there, and I didn't even get a chance to get back up there. So I made it definitely a point to get upstairs a couple of nights. And one night was an amazing weather night. It was just like storms all the way around us, encircling us. You know how they can in Florida. And these thunderheads that were spectacular. And I remember being up there doing some Facebook Live, Tori Hunt was really enjoying it. I guess her son Talmadge he's really into weather, and they even rewatched those. I mean, you could see the thunderheads like lighting up, and then you could see some of these spectacular lightning strikes, which were about, someone said, like 12 miles away from us. Didn't feel threatened at all, but it was pretty cool to be up there. Topolino is a great view.
So was it raining when you were out there, or is just this whole storm was in the distance?
Yeah, these there was one in that direction and almost encircling us. Okay. There were some of these storms. You know how they get them in Florida.
I do.
Especially in the evening. But it was, for my coffee walks, it was really nice to walk that property. I wasn't sure, although I'd been there before, so I kind of knew what to do. I'd walk around the pool, but I took a walk over to the Caribbean Beach Resort. And it didn't take me very long. I want to say like 10 minutes even to walk to their main. I wanted to see if their coffee was on, matter of fact. How close it was. But beautiful. I love the Caribbean Beach Resort. It's a beautiful resort. So really nice to walk over there. I mean, I'm a little disappointed with their 7 a.m. opening of Primo Priato to get coffee. And even Ken was saying, Ken was saying they're really slow to get up and things moving around at the Riviera compared to Bay Lake Tower.
Was Caribbean Beach open?
No, they weren't either.
It wasn't open either.
Not till 7.
Wow.
I'm an early riser.
I understand.
And, the other thing I was joking about was I'm big into the baked goods. My cinnamon rolls, those big, huge donuts.
Yeah.
And I looked around. They did not have. I was thinking in France, boy, it's a French Riviera. Shouldn't there be? Or Italian is Italian. It's Italian. But I thought there'd be better choices for the baked goods. Kind of puny. I was a little disappointed there. But anyways, no, the Primo Priato, I didn't end up eating there this time, but it is. I've eaten there before. It's pretty good. So nice, beautiful location, of course, to get to Epcot. And that really worked out well, especially that first night when we came home. But Bay Lake Tower, so this was funny. Margita and I get in there to check in, and the cast member, you don't know where you're going to be staying.
Right.
And she says, we got you on so we had a lake view. You can have lake view, you can have standard view, or there's Magic Kingdom view. And we had lake view, which is pretty kind of in the middle of the road. But I like that view off to the outside to that huge lake. And I've stayed on both corners. I've stayed on the Magic Kingdom view, which is sort of I don't know what they call it, like a partial view. And then I've stayed on the other side. And I kind of like the contemporary side with the boat docks and just looking off to that direction. But I'll tell you, I'm glad she kind of did a sales job on us. And we're like, okay. I know what you would have done, Wendy. You would have probably, I don't know, you might have changed. I'm not sure what you would. I don't know, because we were going into it wanting the other side. Now, the 2 bedrooms, I learned, I don't think I knew this, but the 2 bedrooms are on the end. They're all end rooms.
Yes.
You knew that? Okay. So I was thinking about you. I was like, I wonder if Wendy would change this room, because I got to tell you, at the 12th floor, that partial Magic Kingdom view was spectacular.
Nice.
It was really good. And
nice.
I was surprised, because the last time I stayed was more like a 5th floor, and those trees are in the way. So it's not as, didn't calculate, being up at the 12th floor, how great it would be. So that is good. People have talked about that. That's fantastic.
Now, were you ever back at your room to see the parade go by? I think it comes by at like 10 something, 10:10 or something.
Only one time I remember I was actually on the monorail. I took some video of it on the monorail. The magical.
Yeah, because it goes to Bay Lake Tower last.
Yeah, I know. And it's late too, usually, like, at least my experience, it was 10. No, I didn't experience that. I might have been like
asleep
when it went by. Okay. The Magic Kingdom fireworks were 9:20. That seems kind of later than I recall it being. But anyways, in the past, that was fantastic. You know this too, but the stunning views around the Magic Kingdom area, because you're in that resort area, and there's windows all over the place at the elevators. I love going across the Sky Bridge. The lakeside even that side has great windows. And of course, off of our room was fantastic. But it was disappointing, but it didn't matter so much because of our room. Was Top of the World Lounge was closed. It's just starting. I know
it is opening back up again, but just not when you were there. That's disappointing.
Yeah, that was one of the little things. Contempo Cafe was good, though. With them, they were open like 6 o'clock. It seemed like everything was kind of like hopping more and moving with the monorail going through the Contemporary and all that. So that experience, I think, is a little better.
Well, the Contemporary is more of a, it can be used for meetings and stuff too. So I think that's kind of set up to be an earlier start there.
It's kind of a hub too, when you're in that Magic Kingdom, everything is getting ready to open up Magic Kingdom. The boats are running and all that kind of thing. So it's definitely got a better vibe, I think. And
I don't know if the conferences are really back as much as they were, but I know we've gone there for conferences, with John before too. And it's like you said, a little bit earlier, a little earlier start.
I had a good pool experience there. Although I went down to the Bay Lake Tower pool and I could not get an umbrella. I couldn't find a spot where I was just by myself, and I ended up in the sun. I actually got a little sunburned sitting there for about an hour. I didn't realize till later that night I got a little burnt, but I said, forget this. I didn't feel like it, but I'm going to walk over to Contemporary. And there was like nobody there. I had a perfect spot under a tree, nice and shaded. So I had a really nice afternoon. Margita yelled at me the next day because I drank 3 beers and spent like $40 or $50. I forget what it was.
Those things happen on vacation. That's why you're on vacation.
That's what I told her, Wendy. But yeah, that was, and of course the location's fantastic. Walking the Magic Kingdom either early in the morning or after a late night is fantastic. So yeah, I would put Bay Lake Tower as my favorite tower for sure. One of my favorite resorts.
So Bay Lake number 1, Riviera number 2, or Grandestino number 2?
No, Riviera number 2.
Number 2, and Grandestino number 3.
Yeah, only because of the location too, I would say.
The location for Riviera?
Right. It's better on that Skyliner.
Right. Okay.
If they could put the Skyliner into the Coronado Springs, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, because it's such a nice property. It's just, it's one of the ones that's just a little bit out of the way.
Yeah, we would call it.
So if you don't have a car.
I think that's a great place to stay as a moderate. I mean, it's like a deluxe. We've talked about that, and fantastic restaurants. It's a beautiful property. I really like it over there. So, like we always say, it's hard to pick some of your favorites sometimes, but if I had to that's what I'd say.
All right, so we're finished with page number 1 on resorts, and food starts at the bottom of page 1. I'm just going to see page 1, page 2, just seeing what you have coming up. Page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6. So there are 6 pages of food. So
all right, I'll go through them fast. I'll go fast.
You take your time. This is your podcast.
Food is an attraction with me. It's one of the, there's some questions of, hey, did you do anything new this trip? And a lot of them are food related, or a lot of my must-dos usually are around.
Right. So do you want to start in order? Do you want to start with your highlights? Do you want to start with anything new? What do you want to start with?
I'm just going to go in order in that.
Okay.
I always use my pictures because I take pictures of all the food. And then I went through all the websites trying to get as accurate a picture of what we did. So the first day we arrived was fantastic. First of all, meeting up with Scott and Karen Dave from the Mickey Files podcast. And we were hungry, and I did want to try something new there, which was the Connections Eatery. It's a huge space. Have you tried that yet?
I haven't.
Oh, okay. And it's a little confusing. There's a big, huge Starbucks there, and then on the other side is this cafe. So I looked at the menu ahead of time. And I don't know if you know, but I've been trying to lose some weight, and I was having some great success, and then I was going down to Disney World, so I was a little scared. But there was a General Tso's chicken salad on the menu, and I said, I don't know, I've never eaten salads on vacation in Disney World, but I'll tell you, I was really happy with that. And the other thing we had Chinese food the night before going on vacation. And that's what I had at the Chinese food place, which I always get. But these were big, huge, long chunks of chicken breast meat with that spice. And so, but they also had like a beautiful salad and tasty mandarin oranges, wontons, and a broccoli slaw in there. So, and really filled me up. So that was really good. $11.49. I think everyone enjoyed that. We had a hard time finding a place to sit though. It was crowded. But that was a really good start for a quick serve. That evening we had Tokyo Dining, which is, so all of these, I think Margita and Auntie Judy picked these, for sure. I didn't have a whole lot of input into
Pick the restaurants.
Yeah. So
they
we
usually do, right?
Yeah. Usually they'll let me pick one, but Margita said, you've been like 3 times since I've been there, so you don't get any choice, which was fine. These were all good.
You know what? I get that.
Yeah. Tokyo Dining was really good. We were really surprised the last time we went there. I was looking at the menu. I thought they were going to have like a filet and those bento boxes, but
right.
They didn't have it. So I was like, oh, okay. But it was funny, like 4 or 5 of us ordered the same thing, this yaki udon, which is a Japanese stir-fry noodles and beef. So I had beef with vegetables and a nice tangy sauce. So really like that. I apologize to Scott Daves. I've been apologizing to him as much as I can because I told him I had heard Jeff McCartney from years ago on the podcast who loves bourbon and whiskeys, and he loves Japanese whiskeys. And I looked on the menu. I said, there's a Japanese whiskey there, Scott. Let's go try that when we're there. I was so exhausted and a little bit drugged up from boning during the day. I was almost falling in my Japanese stir fry. So I didn't go for it, but he did. So sorry, Scott, that I didn't have one with you, but I did have a beer. And
there'll be another opportunity.
Yeah. The only thing I think I missed there, the staff was fantastic, but they don't have the traditional, I don't know if those were really college kids, from the exchange programs.
Right.
So I can't wait to more of those.
Yes.
Come back. So that was one of the features I always liked about it, but it was good. I think everyone enjoyed their meal there.
Okay.
Next one up. Yeah. Columbia Harbor House, one of our favorites and controversial too, because
yes,
you know why. We love our lobster rolls from New England. Margita, Judy, and Ken and I sometimes make a run down to the Connecticut shore. We've been talking about lobster prices have been like skyrocketing.
Oh, it's been crazy.
Margita said like the same lobster roll, which was pretty expensive when we used to go down to this place in Mystic, Connecticut, was $25. Now it's like $50 this summer. Oh. So we were like, oh boy.
Yeah.
And I always get mixed reviews. Even Judy had one that wasn't at Columbia Harbor House, but I've always been surprised that they've had them. It's always been a thing with me. So, yeah, I was pretty impressed with the lobster roll.
Now, I remember looking at your picture, and, my thing is I used to get them all the time. In the last few years, I just feel like they've been chintzy on the amount of lobster. So after the last, I don't think I've tried one in maybe 2 years. I've given up. So I did look at your picture, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's still a small amount of lobster for me. I want like a big... I just want like a lot of lobster, more lobster than bread. And I think they have more bread than lobster.
It was pretty balanced this time, I would say. I mean, for the price, I was like $16 or something. I thought it was
that's true.
Well done. What was different this time was it is a little bit of a mayonnaise base, which some of us pure lobster snobs would say it should only be butter. But hey, I give them, it's lobster in Florida. I'm trying to give them a little slack. Right. But they had these little... Margie was like, what are those little yellow bits? And they were little like chips of butter. So it gave it kind of a buttery taste too. So definitely a little different.
In the mayonnaise sauce?
Yeah. Well, the mayonnaise was not like overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I don't know, just kind of keeps things together. So I really enjoyed that whole meal. And I had the hush puppies. Margita got the fries. Hush puppies are like a corn based, fried thing. Those were tasty. Something a little different, but I was really excited. And even Margita and Judy didn't know that they had this, but the Happy Haunts milkshake I had heard about. That was one of my must-dos.
Yes.
And every time I've seen pictures or heard geeks talk about the milk, I love milkshakes and I love donuts. And so...
The match made in heaven.
Right? So, I mean, I was all over this. And blackberry milkshake. And the blackberry was really, I mean, some people might say it was maybe too sweet, but I like that. So it was really good. And then the donut was a chocolate glazed donut, which I would prefer vanilla glazed, but that's okay. It was decadent, for to say the least.
With a theme.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And it was fantastic. So I was really, really happy with I think Margita was too, with the Columbia Harbor House. It was just her and I. I'm not sure where Judy and Ken were at that particular time, but that was fantastic. So I'm glad to report that. Crystal Palace, that one is one of Margita's. She loves, when we're in Magic Kingdom doing Crystal Palace. I think it was really good. It's a buffet again. The only thing I was disappointed with was the salad bar. I really like all of the kind of summer salads, coleslaws, or potato salads, that kind of thing. And they had a apple salad, which I couldn't tell what it was until I was like, I think that's apples. And then it's like, yeah, that was the only thing I was probably, but everything else, the meats were great and all the main dishes. So that was, but
I don't know if they're back to the same size, because when we were there in March, we had reservations, and actually my daughter and I went and looked in at the buffet. It just seemed much smaller to me with less choices, and we ended up changing because we were supposed to go there the following day, and we ended up booking something different. Did it seem smaller, less choices?
If anything, I would say than the salads portions. I don't know why. That doesn't make sense why. Everything else was really good. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
They don't have the characters like we talked about, but I would say that was my third favorite of the buffets on this trip.
Okay.
So they get better as we go along. I was excited to try Woody's lunchbox. So I had the breakfast bowl. I think I've had it before, but I've had others talk about it. It's potato barrels smothered in smoked brisket country gravy, scrambled eggs, sprinkled with green onions. That hit the spot. I was hungry. Margita has always raved about the Grown Ups lemonade. That's got cherry vodka and lemonade and black cherry puree. And that is fantastic. I had 2 of those on this trip. Not all together, though. I went back for another one on a solo time over at the Hollywood Studios. So that was fantastic. I had to stake out the hardest part, and you'll hear people talk, it gets crowded there, and it gets hard to find a seat. So best strategy is split up your party. Someone go hunt down a place to sit, which I did. And then when the food was ready, which was not a problem with the mobile order.
Mobile order, and
then we were sort of early, not real early. It was crowded already at like 9:30. It was right after our Sunky Dog. So that was good.
So is the breakfast bowl only breakfast hours, or they serve that the whole time there?
Great question. I'm not even going to guess.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know that they do or don't, because I think when I was looking at the menus, they do split breakfast and lunch up on the menu.
Right. Okay.
But this was kind of a surprise. Maybe going back to whether we were going to take it easy or not. I think so. I guess we even were in the beginning of the trip, because I suggested, this was a suggestion of mine, to do Brown Derby Lounge.
Yes.
And they were still back at Woody's Lunchbox. I'm trying to think. There was something, they got caught up. Oh, I know we did see the movie, which was the Lightyear preview, where One Man's Dream was. They had that going on. And I know they got stuck in there. And so I went out and I said, I'm going to go see if they're starting to take reservations for, which I don't remember them ever doing before. Now they kind of, it's on the other, it's not like in the main section where you walk in for the restaurant. It's around the outside where that little bakery used to be. And so there was a woman there cast member at 11 o'clock in the morning, and I got right on the list for a little lounge reservation. So that was fantastic, because that's one of our favorite lounges on property at the Brown Derby.
It's a great place to sit and people watch. Exactly.
And right in the middle of the park. So we had the pork belly app. I had the Cobb salad. And
love the Cobb salad there. Love it.
Thoughts? But I don't know. Have you had it lately? Because I think they've chinsed and made it smaller than it used to be. It's still very
smaller.
good.
I would agree with that.
Did you have it?
I had it in G3, actually.
Yeah, I was surprised. It didn't matter. It was still fine. We had, like I said, we had the charcuterie board, the pork belly app. And I remember having Scotch flights there. Now, they didn't have that. But boy, when you look at those margarita flights, I think that is the standout there. So the classic margarita, the blood orange margarita, and the pomegranate margarita. Both.
So is that what you got?
That's what we all had. Yeah. Judy.
Oh, really?
Margie,
okay.
Yeah. Fantastic. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Good times at the Brown Derby Lounge. Love that place. Definitely check it out if you've never done that before, and try to get in there early before it gets crowded. I did get the Wookiee cookie again. On a mobile order. I love my big cookies, so that's a standout. I tried that at G3. I snuck in there. I broke away from my crowd. Again, they were doing nothing, so I just ran away from them and got my Wookiee cookie on a mobile order during the rain too.
Do you keep it for later, like back in your room, or?
You know what I did actually? I I shared it with them. We went over to the what's the show? Indiana Jones show.
Mm-hmm.
We got there kind of early, and I shared my Wookiee cookie with my party. So split it up. It's
Very
big
nice.
enough to share.
Yeah.
Kate, I was definitely out on a mission trying different things on this trip. So that's kind of the fun thing. Cape May Cafe, I know that's one of Ken's favorites. Disappointing thing is you got to pay extra for the crab legs. Matter of fact, I didn't see anybody buying
Anyone
them
ordering
extra,
them.
like $30 extra. But I thought it was an upgrade from Crystal Palace. Great salads, carved beef, shrimp, lots of shrimp, different kinds of fried shrimp and regular shrimps, roasted veggies that were fantastic. I really like roasted vegetables.
Oh, I love a good roasted vegetable.
Yeah, they had a good platter of that and olives, a nice little olive salad, which I love.
Nice.
And I'll tell you, the standout was for the dessert, which is usually not something I'm big on, but Oreo cookie, like mousse kind of thing. It was like blue.
Okay.
And I'll let Judy and Ken tell the story, but they had a special time with the chef there, so I'll leave that for them. But they were getting some surprise for their 50th wedding anniversary.
Nice.
But Cape May Cafe was a really good buffet too, so enjoyed.
Where does that rank on your list? Because you had said Crystal Palace was your third favorite buffet.
It was number 2.
Number 2. Cape May is number 2 then.
Yep, of the buffets. We kind of did them in order, so the next one's coming up just about next. Well, right squeezed in between, I just wanted to mention everyone in the Geeks love the street corn. So
yes.
I ran into Michelle Choate, which you know Michelle. She's from the Albany area. She came to the Albany meetup.
Well, Michelle's from, I think she drove
Buffalo.
about 4 hours to get to the Albany meetup. She's like west of us.
Yeah.
She took a long drive to come, and I think she's not going to come to the meetup this year. She's got a commitment, which is I'm disappointed at. I'm going to miss that.
I know she's got some family. I talked to her. Yeah. Good time with her there, and we both wanted street corn, so we went over there and had some street corn, which is fantastic. All dipped in butter, decadent. Some spices. A couple of other treats. Kakigori is a fantastic thing that I like. Anything that's icy, especially in the summer. And they had one there on one of the trucks, I think, in Animal Kingdom. And then I had to run and do a special run for a Night Blossom. So
you like those.
I worked hard for all my treats there in Animal Kingdom. Made it a priority, but got those done. Those were fantastic. Now Boma, one of my favorites. It is the best buffet on property, I think. Regardless, if you count, these were the 3 that I went on, but Boma still is number 1. It's not just because Amy Rhodes was there, but she joined us.
Well, that adds to it, I'm sure. Kurt, I'm looking at your notes, and I don't see any notes that involve mustard sauce. That was a big thing from the big group that went the end of April.
I know. I think I listened to that after.
Did you try that?
I remember listening back and editing that show where the guys that went down, there was like 20, almost 30, and they were talking about the mustard sauce. No, I forgot that. I missed the mustard sauce. I got to pay more attention, Wendy, to my my audience. It's not that easy. So what did
you have? What was good?
Well, the soups are always a standout. They're fantastic.
Yeah, my favorite.
Yeah, and the salads were again better than anything that was on the other. I mean, well, Cape May had some pretty good ones, but yeah, they just have so many different kinds of flavors and different choices there. It's a big buffet.
Did they have bread pudding? My favorite bread pudding is there.
I don't know. Did I might have had some. I know that's always a big thing there too. But, if you think, even compare that with Crystal Palace and even Cape May, they duplicate their buffet on 2 sides.
Yes.
Boma's one long of all different things. So there's a little tip for you. So they had the ribs, which I'm always excited for. I had some ribs. You
must have been there Tuesday nights. Isn't Tuesday night ribs or something?
I don't know what it is. I don't
whatever,
know if they alternate nights or something. But
they do alternate nights because my family loves the ribs. And it's always I'm like, we're going on Sunday night, and I don't think that's a rib night. So it is what we'll see what they have. There's still good stuff.
The carvings and
carving stations.
They add the mustard to some of the carving stuff, but it's all real good.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so
that's great.
Breakfast one of our, I still think this is a hidden gem, although we talk about it all the time. Geeks Go, we make it a point to go to the Grand Floridian Cafe.
Yes.
And what's the lobster Benedict? Eggs Benedict is outstanding. But I had lobster before, so I wanted to try something different. So I did the steak and eggs, which were fantastic. I've never, I'm a big steak fan, but I've never had it for breakfast. And so, it's a nice little small steak with a nice, they kind of do an egg. I don't know, what do you want to call it? Maybe an omelet is the best I could come with. It's good. So Grand Floridian Cafe, great server, out of the way, kind of quiet atmosphere, fantastic for breakfast.
You know where else they have that? Noreen had it at Trattoria Al Forno, that she said it was excellent steak and eggs. So that was really good there.
I think that was in the back of my mind from G3. I saw people getting it there, and I had it actually 2 times on this trip. Then I had it at another place. So I would always recommend Grand Floridian Cafe. They actually do breakfast and lunch all day long to answer your Woody lunchbox. I noticed that on their menu. All right, so another big one we're big fans of. We did it for a second time, the Rose and Crown fireworks party. Outstanding. I thought the food was really good. I remember when Kevin Curtis Allen told me about a Scotch egg. I don't remember where it came up on the podcast, but I always remembered it. So I was really excited that it was part of this prefix menu. Yes. So I had, the appetizers. I think you could pick from some different appetizers, I'm sure, and different entrees. But I had the Scotch egg. It was, I think he always makes fun of it. I don't know if
because it's not proper. Or
theirs is cold. I think they serve theirs cold, and here they serve it warm.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I think that's the thing. But I love it. I love sausage. I love eggs. So fantastic. Fish and chips. I mean, even so much food that I couldn't hardly finish it. So it's like 3 huge pieces of fish, probably cod, and the big steak fries. So fantastic. That was really good. And the service was weird. They had to move us because they were on the top and you really couldn't have a good view of the fireworks from there. And so we had to actually move. I think something happened. Like I didn't get it. My drink didn't follow me. So I didn't get like a drink in between or something. There was a little bit of a problem with service there, but still I love any of the fireworks dinner parties or anything after parties, those kinds of things. I think they're fantastic. I mean, if you wanted to complain, this was a point where I wasn't feeling that great. So they got off easy with me. It's all the beer you can drink.
Right.
And wine and that kind of thing. But I was just doing Cokes. Yummy custard desserts there too. So I really liked the little cups of desserts they did. I mean, if you wanted to make a complaint, the angle that you're at isn't supposed. It's weird. We were wondering why this Harmonious Fireworks is kind of in a position where you really want to be in America or Japan, somewhere in that area we were talking about. But it's fine for me. I thought it was fantastic. And you're really close when all those little bursts of light come off from the side of the lake around the lake. I mean, I think the show is fantastic. And so that was a good night.
So did Margita and Judy have their Prosecco?
I'm trying to think. I know Judy did. I don't recall. It wasn't quite the experience as the last time.
I love that recording when the two of them are giggling after that.
Singing.
That's like one of my favorite. Margita has just such a nice laugh, and they were just you just couldn't help smiling listening to them giggle. After the Prosecco that they had after that night. So
that is so true. I agree with you there, but that didn't quite happen on this. I wouldn't say. I don't know that we had kind of the walkout experience too. I think it was still kind of full in the park. I like those times when you walk out and it's like nobody there, but it was still great. I still recommend those. And I'll tell you, a thing I did more than I've ever done before is the festival booths.
Oh, good.
I took there's a food and wine app that Margita particularly has talked about, and I made sure, I think I was in the airport or something, adding some of these things. I had a lot of them written down from podcasts and listeners that I talked to. So I had some idea, and I think I did pretty good of what I was doing. And I probably went 3 times to booths.
Nice.
So and the other thing I noticed from between Flower Garden and Food and Wine was no lines. I mean, really easy to get
Mm-hmm.
whatever you wanted. That was the disappointing thing I found in the fall when I was there with my friend John. I mean, the lines
So
were
were
just...
you there more like lunchtime and in the afternoon, so you feel like people weren't there?
No, I think, Wendy, I was there at different times. I really...
Okay.
I don't think the Flower and Garden gets the crowds that the Food and Wine Festival does for some reason, because it was the first. And I honestly, unless someone can make an argument, I think the food is just as good and fun, in the Flower and Garden.
Flower and Garden goes on a long time, because I think Flower and Garden was there when I was in March. When March, Flower and Garden had started.
Yeah,
right?
probably so. Yeah.
So maybe by the time June comes, people have
maybe
been and done there by that time.
Yeah, maybe so.
So what did you have that you liked?
All right, so let's hit them. I mean, they're fantastic. Corned beef, brisket hash, fried cinnamon roll bites. I was excited to try that. They were fantastic with like vanilla sauce on them. House-made cheesy crab wontons. Really good. Toasted pretzel bread in Germany. I was surprised by that one. I think I heard Chris talking about it. He wasn't that raving about it, but I thought it was really good. It had ham and cheese and pretzel bread, so I really liked that. I was surprised. Talked about the croissant that has goat cheese and herbs with a fancy name, but I had that. That was fantastic.
Oh, who loves that? Is it Heather Stone Capel? Who is the one that really loves this one?
Somebody. I probably have it written down in my notes somewhere.
Yeah, there was someone that this is like a favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe Jen Batchelder?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
No. I'm thinking about it now. No, maybe the other Jen Moynihan Wynn.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I think that's who it is.
I think you're right.
I'm sorry if I got that wrong, everyone, but I just remember someone really talking about the goat cheese and how good it was.
See, I know. I was recommended by people that know what they're talking about. They had a beignet, caramel like beignet. That was okay. That was at the French one there too. Seared scallops, good, and the beef tenderloin tips were a little bit dry. So
yeah, I had that when I was there, and I thought that we didn't even finish them. I thought they were poorly cooked.
Yeah. Okay. So same experience, which I'm surprised because that's usually one of my favorite kind of things.
Right. I'm not a big beef eater, but I usually like the beef tenderloin at Flower and Garden. So we got that, and John and I were like splitting it. Neither one of us finished it. It was not very good.
Crispy Mojo marinated pork belly. I think that was fun and good. And then another one people have talked, I remember for years, I want to say Selena and Jackie for sure talked about the frozen dessert violet lemonade. Yeah. I was like all alone. How am I going to find this thing? There's so many booths. I wasn't sure where it was. I put a message out into our Facebook group or something, and almost immediately 2 or 3 people told me how to find it. I was right there getting it. So that was kind of, like in the beginning of Epcot in the World Showcase, where those little shops are when you walk in. It was kind of going towards Canada. It was right over there. So fantastic. A little small, but good tasting. Definitely really good. I could have done 2 of those.
Okay.
Contempo. I'm a little disappointed with their menu actually, but I did have the grilled breakfast sandwich, which was really good. Just egg and ham and cheese.
You can mobile order. Did you mobile order when you were there?
Yeah. It was. Yep, exactly. Yeah. Every time I did, that was pretty fantastic to do that. Of course, Friar's Nook. So yeah, this was kind of, again, I was on Geek and Recon. I was like all alone a few times, and I'm just what am I gonna do? I did some things on rides. I don't like going on rides when I'm all by myself so much. So some I will, like, I don't know. I did the Swiss Family Robinson Tree by myself. I did the boat by myself. But I was looking, what kind of treats could I kind of find? And they had this one at Friar's Nook called the Wild Ride, which was a frozen thing. But I've talked about this before. I don't like when they mix different flavors all together. It looks good and sounds good, but I really liked the sour apple that was on top. I wish the whole thing was the sour apple, because the blue raspberry was kind of bland, and then I really liked cherry, but by the time I got there, it was kind of not that great.
So it's like an icy?
Yeah, like what do you call slushy?
Okay, slushy.
It was a slushy, which I really like. And then they had a black licorice wheel on it, which I don't know. I don't recall really liking black licorice, so I just I think I threw that out.
Well, is that supposed to be the wild ride part where it whips you around like black licorice type of thing? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I like, though, how they do different treats and you're always surprised and want to try something new. So that's fun. Mm-hmm. That's why I did it. We did the Skipper Canteen. Now, I know this is one we talk about where the geeks go there kind of as a happy hour, treat it as a lounge. And I was going there as intended, like 11 o'clock. They kind of lost our reservation, too. We were sitting out there and we're like, how come they're not letting us in? Judy goes up and says, hey, did you lose our reservation? What's going on? And then we got right in. Somebody messed up something, but we got in there, and then our server was really great. I mean, a few kind of jokes and stuff, but I just thought she was good. But the way she was, I don't know, the way she presented, she kind of went right to the entrees. I'm like, yeah, what, why not? I'll go.
Okay.
But we did do the famous Brazilian cheese bread, which is the first time I ever did that, and the cachapas, which our good friend
Deirdre loves
and says that's the best thing on property. So those are fantastic. Enjoyed doing those for the first time, but I had the taste like chicken because it is. And
how was it?
It was good. Crispy fried chicken. I said, is there a bone? She says, yeah, there's like a little bit of a bone. And she was right. It's mostly a chicken breast with a little bit of bone there. But yeah, that was fantastic. I'm glad I did that. So I enjoyed. All right. I'm doing good, right?
You're doing great.
I'm whipping right through these. I like giving a lot of variety. So Ronto Roasters. I don't know. I may have tried the breakfast wrap there. Again, I was alone this time and looking for suggestions. I did that wild cherry lemonade, the adult lemonade before this. And then I did the Ronto Roaster. So I really liked the morning wrap. And the grilled pork sausage is more like a Polish kielbasa to me. By itself, I'm not a big fan of that for breakfast, but I think once I combined it with the eggs and the pita bread and the cheese, and there was a lot of cheese in there, I ended up actually really liking that. So I would do that again. I remember complaining years ago.
That's a good sized portion too. That's a good.
Yeah, it really is. All the stuff I didn't do because I was hungry. That's actually this little roundup I'm doing right now that I'm going to order. I had to force down some of this, and wait till you hear the one that I really had to force down.
Okay.
Yeah, that was really good. I was really pleased with that. I used to complain that where's the egg sandwiches in Disney World when you get in there?
I know, right?
It used to be, but now you can find them. So I'm much happier. You must have heard me. But Glenn Kessler and Samantha Kuhn both were messaging me, and they knew where I was going. They said, Glenn said, you got to try the kettle corn sweet. It's like sweet and spicy kind of outpost popcorn mix thing. It's got colors and stuff. And so I love popcorn. So I said, all right, I'm going to get that. And then I'm not a big cold brew person, but Samantha talked me into the Joffrey's spiked
She loves
cold
that.
brew.
Yeah, she loves cold brew.
Yeah, hey, that's the kids. You know, the kids love that stuff. But I'll tell you what, I might be a fan now. I did get the one I did get the one with the liquor in it. It's got Godiva chocolate liquor. Sweet cream cheese, chocolate puffs. Yeah, those little Cocoa Puffs on. That was.
So was it really sweet then? Or was it more? Was it mostly coffee with a little sweet?
More chocolatey. Yeah. Can
you taste the coffee at all?
No, not really.
Okay.
I don't think so. And I didn't really get the liquor either. I didn't notice there was liquor in it, but
okay,
that was pretty good. I would say I like that better than I like the popcorn.
Okay.
I might be a cold brew fan. I could learn to enjoy that. Definitely. A little pick me up in the afternoon, maybe. A hot day. So I love coffee.
Yeah.
And then the big controversy.
Here it comes.
I'm going to get into this with Glenn Kessler. I teased him because I love my lobster rolls.
I do.
He said, "Oh, you got to try. This is fantastic. The plant-based lobster roll over at Rosie's All-American Cafe," which was kind of funny because I was walking over there. I wanted to get on Tower of Terror, but the line, even early in the morning, it was the first thing I went to, and it was like 100 minutes. I said, "Oh, forget that." And I'm looking around. Where is this Rosie's? And I couldn't find it. And then I think I made my way back and I started messaging the guys. Like, where is this Rosie's? I was over where you told me it was.
Yeah.
It's behind, like it's across from the show. What's the show that's over there next to Tower of Terror?
Lightning Queen?
No, oh my gosh. Beauty and the Beast show.
Oh, yes.
They told me it's right across from Beauty and the Beast, but there's another little restaurant there. So it's actually behind that. There's no signs. You hardly know it was there. But so I went in for the plant-based lobster roll. Now, the first thing I did was I took a little piece of it's made out of marinated hearts of palm.
Yep.
And I just tried it. It's like a salad. It's like a salad that you see on a salad bar. It's kind of what it reminds me of, because it's got the taste of vinegar, which I really like. I love salads like this. It's got sweet apples, celery, creamy Old Bay dressing. Maybe that is what's getting in his head, because he's from Maryland.
Glenn's a big Old Bay fan.
Which I have been trying. Thank you, Glenn. I have a bunch of it he gave me. I've been using on my shrimp out on the grill. Mm-hmm. And it had my house-made potato chips, which I really like. But I have got a hard time understanding how they can get away calling it a lobster roll. I mean, it's more like a marinated hearts of palm salad on a roll. Now, the roll was really good. It was real. And when you actually ate into the roll with the combination of everything, I mean, it was good, but I don't know where to get off calling it lobster roll.
Okay, so if it was called something different, I think Bubba Mac touched on this. If it wasn't called a vegetarian lobster roll, if it was called something else, would you have liked it? Is it just because it was not an imitation lobster roll, in your opinion? Would you have liked it?
Me, as a avid meat eater, I wouldn't even gone for it.
Okay.
I did it all for fun, and we're going to have this debate with Glenn. I'm setting up his trip report. We're going to probably in the next couple of weeks record with him, so we'll have it out. I hope we're still friends after. I think we will be. Okay,
so before the debate used to be citrus swirl, right, or Dole Whip, and is now the debate going to be whether you like the plant-based lobster roll or the regular lobster roll? Is that the new debate?
Wow. That's not even fair. That's not even fair to the poor plant-based lobster roll. Call it something else, then maybe.
Right. All right, you're doing well. Let's keep going.
All right. So I did find a croissant, egg and cheese, bacon sandwich in Frontierland. Fantastic. If you're looking for one, that's on your way over to Splash Mountain. Definitely try that. Captain Cook's. Again, I did a salad again. It's like 3 times. This is not like me. I only gained like 2 pounds on this trip, Wendy.
That's my Disney World experience is I have a salad every day for lunch.
Oh,
I have like a yogurt for breakfast in the room, whenever I have like a salad, and then I eat the other stuff later on to try to avoid going home with any extra weight gain. You know what I think too, though? It was being really hot. It definitely, I felt like eating lighter. And because of my weight loss, I think I'm definitely got a smaller stomach. So this worked out good. And I like shrimp. So I had the Asian style noodle salad with shrimp. That was really good. And where was that? Captain Cook's. Okay. I really like Captain Cook's. There's some really good things on that menu. Like, I mean, I'd go for the pork sandwich in a minute, but yeah. Too hot. Did you eat outside, or was it just too hot for that? Yeah, it stayed in the air conditioning. Yeah. For that one. Yeah. We did have, can you believe we had Ohana's booked for that night, but it was only like 3 hours away. And both of us, Judy, Ken, and I were like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but we're going to cancel our Ohana. Yeah. So that was disappointing, but I was full. Yeah. Didn't do it. Then we did, maybe this is the last one I got here. Oh, maybe just one last couple. We did the Cinderella's Royal Table. Again, I had the steak and eggs, beef tenderloin and egg. That was really good. Mm-hmm. Potatoes and broccolini. But yeah, and they did have a nice little spread of like Mickey shaped blueberry muffins and some other little goodies there. That was good. So I enjoyed that. Got a good picture with Cinderella. Oh, great. Me and Ken. That was pretty fun. And then I think, you know what? I almost didn't even do a frozen lime margarita on this trip. It's shocking sometimes. Really?
all the time.
How could that be?
I know we had like 9 nights, and I don't remember even going past. Didn't even go past it. So I was just like running by there. And I said, "Who was I with?" I was with somebody. I said, "I just got to stop." There was a line there. The good thing to know is that line. I don't know why they set up a line outside of that margarita stand in Mexican Pavilion, because they've got like 3 registers, and they try to control that crowd, and it makes it look line looks long, but it's not. And like, yeah, so I got my frozen lime margarita. Kind of had to force it down, but it was as good. More expensive though. It's up to $13.33 or something like that.
Wow.
But it was good. It might be a little bit smaller, but it's still just as good. And then I always finish off with my Jersey Mike's Italian sub at the airport.
Okay.
That's my favorite from the airport. That's always a tradition for me. I like Italian subs.
Looking back at all the things you just talked about, Lee Larry's question wanted to know your favorite table service, your favorite quick service, and your favorite dessert of all those foods that you tried.
Yep. So a quick service. I'm going to go with Columbia Harbor House.
Okay.
We were really surprised and happy with the lobster roll, and Happy Haunts milkshake was just right on top. So the sit down meal. Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah. Well, I'm going to go with the easy one, Boma.
Okay.
Yeah, Boma's, again, I've always called it my second favorite restaurant. It's still there. It's still great. Mm-hmm. Nothing changed there whatsoever. Still love it. Glad to see that that's back and rocking and rolling.
Yeah, for sure.
The favorite little dessert was that Oreo cookie dessert. I was at the Cape May Cafe. That was a surprise. I mean, it was small, but I was really loving that. Nice. I was all about that. And I mean, just all around, again, the flower and garden booths. Really pleased that I, took the time talking about going slower and just instead of just hopping on rides and stuff, really hit those booths for research, and that was fantastic. So they were all good.
So research in quotes, air quotes, research.
Those are my favorites from this trip.
All righty. So that's lots of food deep diving in there.
Yeah, I think I came in about an hour, so this is about typical for everyone who comes on my show too.
Yeah. Sounds good. How about experiences on this trip? I know there's a whole lot of questions on here about experiences. Johnny Jamerson started right away with asking the favorite new thing you experienced or tried.
So I was really struggling with this question because I don't think I really did a lot of new things. Of course, some of those food things I mentioned would be including. I really loved spending some quality time with Scott and Karen Daves from the Mickey Fowles podcast on the first time.
Nice.
We don't, as a rule, because we fly down so early in the morning, we like to take it easy that first day, and especially Margita. Yeah. They were just a lot of fun to hang out with. I'm so glad. I really love those guys. So, and we talked about this on one of our Zoom calls, Scott and Karen and I. They never really met Margita before. When we do G3, we both get pulled in different directions. And so, this was really cool to spend pretty much the whole day with those guys and to experience Guardians of the Galaxy with them. So that was certainly a new thing. I think someone wants to know my whole experience.
Those are actually on our list. Brandy Walsh wanted to know what your experience was with Guardians of the Galaxy. And did you take your Boneem ahead of time?
Yes, I did take it in time, although I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to. We didn't get it first thing in the morning. We got it at 1:00. While we were sitting there, it was kind of funny. We were all trying to get our app ready to go. It's kind of a game. And I think Scott didn't even have something. He never ever in the party connected to it. And guess who ends up getting the lightning lane was Scott. He got the best group, but it was later in the afternoon. I don't know. It was before dinner, although we ended up being late to our dinner. I finally saw the movie for the first time. I had seen bits and pieces of Guardians of the Galaxy, the first movie at least. I'd never seen it all the way through. I've recorded a show about Marvel, so I got excited. Matter of fact, Johnny Jamerson and a couple folks I pulled together to do a show, which is coming out. My son's going to be on it. Well, by this time, maybe, I'm not sure. which is going to come first, but it's recorded. Anyway, I got excited about Marvel. I'm going to dig into the movies, but I had to do Guardians of the Galaxy. I really loved that movie. So you
watched the movie before your trip, so you were ready.
Yep.
Okay.
I wanted to experience it that way, and all of that is great. It's such everyone's been talking about it. Now, I didn't want to get tricked like I did get tricked for Flight of Passage. People were telling me, "Oh, it's like Soarin',"
right?
And I have both Margie and I really struggle with our motion sickness. I mean, rides like Flight of Passage, which really those ones that are 3D that move things from front of you, like Star Tours is a classic one.
Right.
That one's forget it for me. Usually, I'm pretty good with the roller coasters, except for probably Everest when it goes backwards. But I'm fine with those. So the simulators I'm worried about. So I was really digging into people of what was going on. I remember Jeff Opolka. One big thing is when he went with Travis Dietrich and Jeff told us he got nauseous. Then the flag went up in my mind. I go, okay, I knew somebody. And and more people I talked with. I had some guy at work said, "Oh, it's not so bad. If you can do Star Tours, you'll be fine." I went, I can't do Star Tours. So I had a lot of red flags going into it. So I was ready. But
did you like it?
The thing with boning is it kind of dopes you up pretty much. Like I was tired. So my best description of my first ride was I was disoriented. I think if you see my picture, I was kind of laughing and like it's one of these rides definitely that has a lot going on and you're moving fast and different things you're going to be put in front. You haven't gone on it yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. So I won't. I mean, it's again, I think a ride that you'll definitely understand or recognize more that you do it. So I would say my first.
So you want to go on again?
I do. I'll do it again. I'll definitely do boning. I did 2 boning this time, but I'll be prepared. I definitely want. I enjoy doing those rides. Like Flight of Passage, I enjoy doing it, but I have to do the boning, and it helps me to enjoy the attraction. It's hard to say you enjoy something if you feel like throwing up.
Yeah.
If you can commiserate with that sentiment, but yeah, don't take my take on it because most people are really enjoying it. And I think I will. I'll try to get in and I'll enjoy it more.
And how did Margita do?
She did. I think she did good. Maybe better than me. But yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll get a chance to ask her.
And speaking of Margita, Brooke Everett asked, what was Margita most excited to do after her long absence, and what did she notice change the most?
That question, I really want her to answer, but you made me think of my response to this a little earlier when you were talking about her laughing coming out of the Rose and Crown from So I was listening back to some live recordings I did. So this was the first time she rode Ratatouille or Mickey and Minnie's Railway. And she loves those kind of dark rides. That's her favorite.
Right.
And so she loves all the traditional rides, but I'm recording these and she is giggling and laughing and having a good time. Nice. She'll tell you she really enjoyed Mickey and Minnie's Railway. She thought that was wicked cute, and even Ratatouille also. But I'll let her answer when we have her on. Okay.
So I know we're talking a little bit about experiences. Before we get into some of your not so good experiences on the trip, Andy Hoffman wants to know if you have any magical moments. Do you have any magic?
Well, maybe we'll talk about this too later. But my Geek Meets are always magical.
Okay.
I love my Geek Meets. I love the outdoor concert stuff. So I saw Peter Noon twice. I was really Judy and Ken wanted to go back one time. So I'll go do that again. Yeah. I actually had 2 really good Geek Meets at the concert. The first time I was there by myself, and then I came out. I had walked all the way over to where Spice Road Table was, and someone came up from behind me and said, "Hey, Kurt." It was someone who works with me remotely. He works remotely, and he's living. I found out that he bought a house there 2 months ago.
Nice.
And he doesn't know me from the podcast. He knows me from my work from the work that I do. So he was complimenting me and thanks for all the things I do for him at work. But he knew I was the Disney guy because I have conversations with people a lot about Disney World at work. Okay. I've got a little group there that we connect with. So that was really fun. I talked with him for quite some time. His wife was there with some friends, and that was a fun little. He said he saw me from behind when we were at the concert. And the other fun one was Judy and Ken were in the far back, and so I was sitting there and I was recording. I think I was recording. I don't know if I was doing FaceTime Live or I was really concentrating, but there was a little bit of seat left where I was sitting on the bench, and this woman come up and really excited, sits down next to me, and I looked at her and I didn't recognize her right away because she had one of those safari hats on. And I had to focus, and she was like right on top of me, and it was Brenda Drinkwine Futrell.
Oh, okay.
I think she pronounces her name Futrell.
Futrell. Right.
Different than Chris, and they're not related, but
right.
And I know her really well. I've seen her at G3s with her husband, and she was there with her husband. Well, what was funny was I took a picture and posted it in our group, and she was sitting like 4 rows behind me, and she's like, "Wait a minute, that's from the angle of where I took the picture." She's like, "Right." Oh, I was like right in front of her, like 4 rows, and so that was really a fun surprise meetup. And she's my elephant poop girl. She's the one that first told us about elephant poop.
Yes, of course.
So she goes, "You remember me?" I said, "Yeah, I remember you." After I focused, and
right.
That was really cute.
So Andy Hoffman did ask how many geeks you met.
All right, so I talked about Scott and Karen. Oh, right. Another really cool, memorable one was I was doing my very first coffee walk at the Riviera. I was up at like 6:30. I'm walking along. It's all recorded. If you're on the Patreon stream, you'll hear this. As a matter of fact, I put this out to everyone. Anyone could go out to Patreon and listen to this because I made it available to everyone, not only the supporters, because I wanted Brandy Shields and her mother-in-law Tammy to hear this. I was walking around the pool, nobody around, not a soul around, and I'm talking into my recorder, and up behind some bushes, Brandy says, "Are you Kurt Stone?" I was like, "Yeah, I am." She goes, "Oh, I'm a big fan of your podcast. I'm a listener." Well, you can listen. You can hear the whole thing recorded. I don't have to tell you. And even her mother-in-law Tammy was there, and they were so supportive. They said so many nice things about the podcast and stuff. So
nice.
But to be in the middle of, I don't know, I would say nowhere, but all alone, and to meet a listener was a pretty cool moment. They were waiting. Her husband and her son were out fishing out on I didn't know you could do the fishing out there in Caribbean Beach Lake, kind of out there. So that was really fantastic. I was thinking of this later during the day, not until later, but all day I was in Magic Kingdom and didn't see one listener. But back at the resort, I saw Brandy, so that was cool. Well, then later in that day, we were in Magic Kingdom, and David Castro, posts the pork nachos at Captain Cook's. I'm like, is he here? I didn't no idea he was. So we ended up going over there and saying hi to him. He was there with his manager, and they were doing a conference at one of the resorts. But yeah, I got some time to spend with Dave Castro there for a few minutes. Great. Saw him. Michelle Choate we talked about over at Animal Kingdom, and Amy Rhodes and Lorelei. Saw them in Epcot for a quick minute, and then on Saturday, and then we saw them at BOMA. Rob Madeary came over to see me. He made a special trip. He was there for work. I don't know if I can tell what he does for work. I don't know if he cares, but he goes down there quite a bit, some building stuff they're doing. And he was like staying near Universal and drove over for the morning just to meet up with me. So he's a good friend of ours. Great. Lori Oliveri, I seem to run into her a lot when I'm there. I know she was like a snowbird, but I think she finally moved down there. I was walking out of Skipper Canteen, ran right into her. She goes, "Hey, Kurt." Like, "Hey, Lori." Like, it seemed to run in her. Another fun one, someone who I never met before, Laura Nothnagel. Ran into her with her family. We were kind of messaging each other, so we did end up being at the Beauty and the Beast show at the same time. Then saw her. Margita got to see her, and she's a lot of fun. Great listener, been around for a long time. And then the last one was Randy. I hope I got everybody, but Randy Townsley my last day, Margita was with us, and Judy and Ken were coming out of the laugh floor and ran right into her. She goes, "Hey, are you Kurt from the podcast?" I said, "Yeah, I am." And so I got to meet her. And so, yeah, those were all.
Okay. That's a lot.
That's quite a bit. Like, 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, something like that. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Really, when you think about it.
Yeah, I didn't really plan anything. Most of them just kind of happened. Well, we did have plans to meet Claudia Castro and my friend Nancy Mathieu. Was there anyone else? Oh, yes, we had more plans. We were supposed to meet up with Tony Ann and Michael and Dave Youngward and stuff, but yeah, the great unpleasantness.
This would be a good time. So why don't you tell us what happened?
Well, yeah, basically Margita came down with it halfway through the trip, and so she took the test, came up positive. I mean, that pretty much I'm trying to put the timeline together, but to tell the story is really to say kind of, hey, if you have a health problem when you're down at Disney World, I'm telling this story so you can hear my experience. But, we went over there's a walk-in clinic. We really weren't sure what to do, but she came up positive. I didn't come up positive. I was negative, but we weren't, and it ended up being like a 2-hour wait. It's just outside the gates of Disney World. Pretty common drive there. Not too hard to find, but it ended up being like a 2-hour wait. They have a television there. It says they put your name up on the screen and they give you an estimate.
Did you have to Uber over there, or did Disney help you get to the urgent care? How did that happen?
We borrowed Ken and Judy's car. Okay. So Ken and Judy ended up doing, that was the big unfortunate. We didn't do the Disney Springs, lost out on going to Disney Springs, City Works. We had tickets for Lanuba, or is it Lanuba?
Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque du Soleil.
Yep,
they don't call it Lanuba anymore. It's just Cirque du Soleil. So we actually, long story on the tickets, they ended up, after we got home and everything, Margita was on phone with them. They didn't refund our money, but they gave us a credit to do the show again. So, but Judy and Ken did it, but we didn't. So that was disappointing.
So when Margita tested positive, she went to urgent care because she was having symptoms that she wanted medicine for? Or?
Yeah. Yep. So she figured she'd do the antiviral, and that's exactly what they prescribed once we saw the doctor after a couple hours. And they also, they talked about how what they're seeing with COVID right now is it's highly contagious. Everybody, I don't say everybody, a lot of people are getting it. But the symptoms aren't nearly as bad as
more mild. Sure.
They're milder. You'd have to ask her that. She was definitely in bed for a couple of days, and she was a real trooper. She's always a trooper when she's not feeling well. We were out trying to gather the vitamins, and I ended up going to Walmart. I went to 2 CVS's before we ended up getting everything we wanted to get. So I ended up spending like 6 hours. And I got to tell you, Walmart in that Kissimmee, and Lindsay told me about this. We were on the phone with Lindsay because she's got a lot of experience from down at the college program. So we were asking her a bunch of stuff. Well, the cough medicine they didn't carry it. I want to say it was the CVS. They had a big sign right there. I'm sorry, maybe it was the Walmart that didn't carry it. And then the CVS was closing. It was about 9:00 by this time. So we had to go to a 24-hour CVS, which was about a 30-minute drive. And the traffic and the way, even on a...
So what time of day? So this was like 9:00 at night. So you've been in the urgent care all afternoon.
Yep, exactly. I mean, I'm so proud that we weren't at each other's throats.
Yeah.
Trying to navigate traffic and the miscues. The Walmart, I've never seen so many people in line. It's the most humongous Walmart. Wow. 9:00 at night, and the lines luckily the pharmacy wasn't long. So got the vitamins and things. They really recommend a bunch of vitamins like vitamin D3, vitamin C, and zinc. I think were the 3. There was one other thing for her stomach
really?
Too.
Okay.
Her biggest problem was she could tell. I'll let her tell the medical part of it, but Yeah, that was our experience. But the medical care, the doctor we saw and the people there were fantastic. They really were good. It was just a long.
Remember what the name of the urgent care was?
It's called urgent care.
It's nothing else to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty basic. There's a CVS There's a CVS there, but they don't have a pharmacy like in the same strip mall. Like, what is that?
That's crazy. Right by where the urgent care is. I know it. That's not good planning there.
That would have made my experience a lot easier. But luckily, we didn't crash the car, and we got back kind of late at night. Probably going to get back to like 11 o'clock at night. Mm. And I was kind of excited that at least out of all this, I would get a pub sub out of it because I like my Italian subs and we love pub subs. Right. I found the slowest pub sub maker in the state of Florida. I'm quite sure of it. it was, I think they were closing up, but even some of the workers were annoyed with my pub sub maker, but it was good. I ended up getting 2 of them and then stored one for later in the week.
Good.
Yeah, so that's that.
That was the great unpleasantness.
That was the great unpleasantness.
Well, I know this is out of order. One of the questions that Nancy Patterson had was, what lessons did you learn or advice for others when the unexpected happens, like sickness and injury, that completely halt your plans?
I think it's good to know what the medical service is, especially it's just good to know because you're on vacation. You're not familiar. Obviously, you don't have your own hospitals and doctors to know a little bit more about that. We learned it kind of because we had to. So that was something. I mean, I was thinking about this so many times I've gone to Disney World. I remember the first time taking the kids, it was the first time I ever got the flu shot because I didn't want to be ill when I'm on vacation.
Right.
And so many times I went to conferences and people came home. It was always a running joke. We always brought home some kind of cold or sinus infection or something by going, I don't know what it is, but that's pretty typical. So even though everyone's, still in the COVID stages, but that's just a fact of life when you go on vacation. So then I would say, but we talk about this all the time. You never know when something unexpected is going to happen or you just plan to change your mind. But I think I did really good pivoting to my plan B, which is just to make the best of it and do things with Judy and Ken when Margita couldn't do it. She did make it there the last day with us, which was good. And I did a lot of stuff on my own. I said, okay, what am I going to do? And I slowed it down. I spent some time, like I said, doing the food things, but also going back to the pool. One day I took a little nap midday. I helped her. Checked on her, made sure she had something to eat and was doing all right. So I spent some more time back at the resort, which I never did a lot before.
Do you like that solo time? Because I know I've gone a lot when John has conferences, and so I'll go to the park for the day by myself. And as much as I love going with other people and sharing it, I really like knowing that I could do whatever I want in whatever order I want. Like, I really enjoy that. I mean, I don't think I want to do that for, weeks at a time, but I love having a couple days where it's just solo time. Like, did you embrace that at all? Did you like it?
I'm actually kind of proud of myself because I could have been, I'm kind of a half full kind of person anyway, but I pivoted pretty much like, I'm going to make the best of this. What is it I want to do?
Right.
This is my opportunity, little things like, okay, I'm going to go check out all these little desserts. I just popped around doing that kind of thing or do a ride that I don't like doing the rides by myself, but I did have fun, kind of little investigations. I thought about doing a 4-park challenge and I'm trying to remember offhand. I don't remember something threw me off that I wasn't going to do that. But anyways, I was starting to get creative with what I was going to do. Yeah, it was kind of fun to do that. Like I said, I had fun doing that.
No, Nancy Patterson wants to know if you found a new iconic hat on this trip.
Oh.
How you had your red hat that everyone can see you and knows it. Did you find a new one? I know a couple pictures you posted. I think one of them was the Japanese hat and one of them was something else. You had posted pictures of you. Did you find a new hat?
Well, so it started off with, we kept noticing that a lot of people, because of the heat, were wearing like these safari kind of hats. I've kind of thought about getting one over the years. And I was like, yeah, we just kept talking. Well, Judy was talking about, because she has, what is that hat called? The bucket hat.
The bucket hat, right.
She ended up buying another one of those. So it got me thinking, and we were hunting them down in Animal Kingdom. And then I brought Margita and Judy over. I said, which ones do you like? So we kind of got into this quest of finding a safari hat. But the one that I liked didn't fit me that well. It wasn't big enough.
Okay.
And I kept, you know how you go to these gift shops and you try to find, and everything is exactly the same as the last place you went to.
Right.
There was this particular style didn't have a bigger hat. I looked everywhere and I was getting frustrated. I kind of knew that's what was going to happen. That was trying, so maybe somewhere I would find, I never seem to do well with those kinds of quests. Once I get on it, to find something I'm looking for like that meets what I was trying to do. Margia said, you should have got that one that I said. And I was like, whatever. I think the one Bubba posted when I got home, I noticed he was in Disneyland. Mm-hmm. He had like a surfer one that I really liked, actually.
Yeah.
But at some point, it just became a fun thing to try on hats and take pictures of them.
Right.
And just be goofy with them. I wasn't serious at all about buying them at that point.
Okay.
So I'm back to my regular red Camaro hat.
Andy Hoffman want to know if you spent much time in Disney Springs. I know you missed your Disney Springs day that day. Were you able to get there at all?
No, that was a big disappointment. Yeah, the great unpleasantness took that one for me.
Okay. And Heather Stone Capel asked what you would have done differently, if anything.
Definitely more Disney Spring times, because I like it.
Right.
I was thinking Genie Plus, Margie and I talked about this, and she wanted to try it for being a travel agent and travel advisor, mm-hmm. to just get the experience. I've talked to so many people about it. I wasn't that concerned with it. I kind of wanted to do things without worrying about the technology, to be honest with you. If she was going to do it, that was fine. But then when she wasn't around with me a lot of the times, I didn't feel like doing it. And I can remember we're sitting there and waiting in line in Splash Mountain thinking that was kind of a long wait. I wish we had Genie Plus. So I think my biggest thing I would do differently maybe would be to try the Genie Plus. I'm getting good and better reports on it. And so that would be the thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are talking about stacking the Genie Plus times in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Like even in a different park. I think a few people have talked about that being a good strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, anything else you want to add before I ask my Fox family tradition question?
Yeah, I got a couple stories for you. Well,
okay, let's hear it.
Popcorn buckets. I was on the hunt for a popcorn bucket, and that was a little bit. I like to collect them. I'm not like a huge collector, but if I see something that I really like, that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that's really interesting. They kind of got the 50th bucket, and Nancy Matthews sent one home for me, so I already have one of those. I was looking for something unique, and I did find one really early on. I didn't know it was a popcorn bucket. He's not really good as a popcorn bucket, but the Mickey 50th anniversary bucket. Okay. Actually, Judy still has them, but I'm really glad I got that one. He's really cute, and we've got the matching mini sipper. I thought Mickey was a sipper too, but nope. I found out I'm glad I asked because he's a popcorn bucket.
Okay.
He's just horrible as a popcorn dispenser though, because all the popcorn kind of gets stuck in his feet. He's kind of hard to get it out of there. He's more of a souvenir than a good. Yeah, because I like to get the refills. Yeah, I
was going to say, did you actually use it as the popcorn bucket on your trip?
No.
Just you just kind of have it as a souvenir.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was funny. I got in this app that talks about which popcorn buckets, and I think it was an old app because they had the R2-D2 and there was not a Star Wars. They didn't even have the Millennium Falcon. I couldn't find. They're basically all I saw was Mickey. And there was a Skyliner bucket, a bigger one than the red one I have. It's a yellow one, but I kind of already had a Skyliner, so I wasn't all that thrilled with that one. So yeah, I wasn't. Mickey was good. I kind of wanted to score another one. And what's funny was I was on the hunt for like R2-D2 bucket, and would you believe when I got home, I realized I already had it.
Well, it was a good thing then you didn't get that one.
I guess so. I'd like them to do like a fighter jet wing kind of thing, that bucket. Or Ken got the AT-AT, which I really like. I wish I had gotten that. I wish I was into it
that would
back
be
then.
good.
That's a good one. Stuff like that
Yeah.
I would be into. But anyways, or Figment would be cool, but that went so fast. Stuff like that, I was kind of a hunt. But that was and then, so my eyeglasses story. I was at the pool. Margita says, I'm going to mobile order at the Contempo. It was getting close to like 4:00 when I was getting ready to go. So, okay, I'll pick up that for you. So that was ready. I leave the pool. I go over to the Contempo and I switch out from my sunglasses to my prescription glasses, and I can't see a thing. And I realize there's a lens missing in my glasses.
No.
And my food is like just about ready. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do? I probably should I got to have my glasses. It's going to be a real rough ride home. And so, and this is like 2 days before we're leaving, but I trace my steps back. I go back to where I was laying down on the lounge chairs, and there was a woman there. She says, "What are you looking for?" I said, "I lost my lens of my glass. It's got like a fishing line that holds it in. It's really a horrible design." And so I'm looking everywhere. I couldn't find it. And so I said, all right, I'm going to go back and get the food and maybe I thought maybe I left it in the Bay Lake Tower I was thinking when I switched off, getting off the elevator. Right. But so I go into the Contempo and then I get this message. "Oh, we charged you for your food, but you didn't pick it up." I went, "What? Are you kidding me?" But luckily, when I walked up there, they had a bag there, and it was no problem. I picked it up. And then I tried to trace my steps back all the way through Bay Lake Tower, forwards and backwards, the path that I took between the pools. I'm coming up with nothing. And then I think I went back to the room, and I said, I'm going to go check with see if anyone returned these lost and found. So I went to the Bay Lake Tower woman. She was really good. She said, "No, we don't," she tried to find it. She didn't have it. I was like, who's going to find the lens for my glass? I'm never going to find this thing. How are you going to see it? How am I going to find it? Someone's going to step on it. And
exactly.
She says, "Well, you know what? Check with the Contemporary. And here's this little card. So if you lose something now, they give you this little card. It's got a website that you register what you lost. And they will, apparently they'll call you, message you, or somehow, that if they find it." And I think they really try hard to return things to people, because I've heard good stories about I've been able to get things back when I've lost them. Kind of a thing I do. So I went over to Contemporary. She was good too. One thing the woman at the Bay Lake Tower says, "Go check with the lifeguards. Maybe someone returned it to the lifeguard." So it made me go. So the Contemporary didn't have it. So I traced my steps back to the pool, and would you believe, right in front of the gate to the left, I saw it laying there on the ground.
Wow. That's an amazing story.
Because she told me maybe the lifeguards have it. So I went back to her. I said, "Thank you so much, because you helped me find that lens." Popped it in. It's still in there. So, yeah.
Well, that's a magical moment. You're asking for magical moments. That's a magical moment.
Yeah, I was quite relieved to be able to see again.
Right. And just think all the, trying to replace that. And like you said, you had to travel home and.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have had my sunglasses or prescription for distance, but that would have been tough in the dark, because we were coming home at like midnight. Right.
All right. Yeah. Any other stories?
No, I think I've covered. I mean, we'll talk more when Judy and Ken and Margita get on, but I'll try to keep quiet mostly during that one.
Well, we have a Fox family tradition in our household that you have to look back on your trip. Usually we do this our last night of vacation, and we ask what your favorite memory was or takeaway from the trip. Doesn't have to be fancy. Could be just what your best memory is.
Yeah, I like this question. I like to ask it of my listeners. So it's only fair I give it a shot, Wendy. So I think
it is.
I can't ever forget the spectacular rooms that we had with the Riviera and the Bay Lake Tower. Feel really fortunate to be able to stay at those kind of accommodations. The investment I made 11 years ago to get into Bay Lake Tower and DVC, I felt that on this trip. So that's fantastic. And time spent alone, just doing the best I could with what was dealt, not losing my cool, not like I could have been really upset about what was happening. And, that this trip was something we really look forward to. And
Right.
The great unpleasantness bit us after all these years, but
yeah,
I did the best. I feel bad for Margita. Hopefully we can make that up to her in a future trip. But I was really glad that Ken and Judy were able to really, of course, Judy would have liked to spend more time and have Margita experience that too. But I think they really had a good 50th celebration. And the geeks and the surprises that they did for us, especially Ken and Judy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that really meant a lot. I'll let Judy and Ken give all the details on that. I mean, the community is just so special and really, went out of their way to make it for Ken and Judy. So that was fantastic. That's the best memories. And I hope Judy and Ken feel the same way. Well,
I'm sure they do.
Once they stop coughing, we're going to have them on a trip report.
Oh, yeah,
which should
absolutely.
Be soon.
Hopefully.
Within the next week.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, listen, I think I'm going to see you a week from tomorrow.
I'm excited.
Recording this?
Yeah, I'm
for
excited.
The Albany meetup.
When you heading back to Albany?
July 4th.
Okay.
So I'm doing a quick Disney World weekend, just a resorts only at Animal Kingdom Lodge. I think I'm going to run into a couple geeks that are there.
Who are you going to see?
This weekend? Jennifer Pulliam is going to be up there. And then I think Scott and Dave's are going to be there.
Scott and Karen, awesome. Oh, I'm so glad. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you. Thank you so much.
I'm looking forward to it too.
You got some great activities planned. I'm excited for those. I really like how you're doing that. What's the little gift exchange called? The
Yankee Swap.
Yankee Swap. I picked up a couple things for that I'm happy with, and it's you always are such a fantastic host. Thanks for being the podcast host for tonight.
Oh, well, I enjoy doing this. I can't wait to hear, all the details of your trip. I know it was something you were waiting for a long time, and I know everyone's dying to hear all the details. So glad you got your trip report done.
Thank you, Wendy. See you soon.
All right. Thanks, Kurt.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Again, thank you, Wendy, for hosting my trip report. We'll have Auntie Judy, Uncle Ken, and Margita on, I hope, real soon. I got to let you know that Auntie Judy ended up in the hospital. She is there right now. Margita went to visit her today. She's doing better. So pretty soon we'll be doing their trip report, and I can't wait. I know Wendy said she'd help us out with that too. So look forward to that coming in the future. I got to send out some thanks for the Geek Meets, like Scott and Karen Daves, Brandy Shields and Tammy, David Castro, Michelle Choate, Amy Rhodes and Lorelei, Rob Madiri, Lori Oliveri, Laura Nothnagel, Bob Young, Brenda Drinkwine Futrell, and Randy Townsley outside the laugh floor to finish it off. So thanks so much, guys, for meeting me down at Walt Disney World. I really love seeing you guys when I'm down in the parks. And I also had a lot of fun this weekend. Mom and I went up to Albany, New York for a Geek Meet. Big shout out to Wendy Fox, who hosted this. She did another amazing job. I think we broke a record in the attendees, but man, it was so much fun. Great, fantastic weather here in New England. We had people coming in from Wisconsin and Ohio and Maine, and then locals from New York, and so fantastic. I got to give a big shout out to everyone who attended. Thanks again to Wendy, Samantha Kuhn, and her parents that were there, helping us put this together. Deirdre Watts, Rebecca Rudin, Travis Dietrich, Lauren Hawkins, Noreen Van Doren, Angela Noyes, Gretchen Santiago, Connie and Lori and Missy, Holly, Kate, Jessica, Maureen, Nancy, Nicole. You guys, thanks so much. I had so many great conversations with everyone. Thanks to John Fox for cooking and bringing pizza later in the afternoon. Yeah, we really missed Judy and Ken, but, we'll do it again next year. We had Bob and Maureen Kuhn, Samantha's parents. What a fantastic version of Jeopardy that Bob put together and hosted for us. The topic was all those things that have left Walt Disney World. I hope Samantha and Bob don't get a big family fight over the Lion King answer. Samantha, you know what I'm talking about. Hey, thanks for celebrating Margita's birthday. She had a birthday song, a cake, cards, and gifts. That was fantastic. Margita's birthday was this past weekend also. Had another Jeopardy game that Wendy and Samantha put together, and also a fun gift exchange that was a Yankee swap, as we call it. It was a lot of fun doing that. So, oh my gosh, such a great weekend with Wendy and all of the friends up in Albany this weekend. Thank you so much, guys. We all had a great time, and I recorded the Jeopardy games. So look for those recordings on Patreon this week. That's patreon.com, where I release a bonus episode of the podcast. I've been doing some of those live recordings when I was down in Florida in June, and I did a little coffee walk, and there's the Beauty and the Beast live show from Hollywood Studios also in that recording this past week. But look for the recordings from the Jeopardy games that we did up in Albany, New York, and all the laughs and fun that we had during that. I think I'm going to sneak that in this week. But thank you for everyone who supports me on patreon.com. I had a big surprise. Kevin Curtis Allen. You know, Kevin's been a good friend of mine since early on in the podcast. He's such a special friend of the show. When I got back from Albany, there was a package waiting for me. He sent me a poster from the Isle of Wight Festival and a magnet and a fridge magnet that's a bottle opener, and also a keychain from his podcast. So Kevin Curtis Allen, oh, thank you so much, pal. It was so good to talk to you today, too. He was on a little walk on the Isle of Wight, just like the old days. We got together on a FaceTime talk and chat, and I just had a beautiful Sunday talking with Kevin and having some fun just chilling out today and just reflecting on this podcast of all the friends that I've made. Thank you so much for making this so much fun, and especially all those conversations I have in Albany with you guys that listened to the show and said so many nice things about the podcast. So, and all the friends you've made through the show. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you for being Patreon supporters. Patreon.com. Look for Geekin' on WDW if you'd like to support the podcast. Kevin went out there and did his annual contribution to the show. Hope you enjoyed those special extra podcasts I put out there, Kevin. Lauren Hawkins and Travis Dietrich for that intro. Wow, fantastic. Driving 8 hours to the Albany Geek Meet. I appreciate you guys so much. And now you don't have to drive 8 hours to the Albany Geek Meet to do an intro, but it's still fun to do. Just tell us your name, where you're from, and a fun Disney World fact or two about yourself, and you go geeking with Curtis and the whole Geekin' family. You can just message me or email them to me at kurt.stone@geekinonwdw.com. Yeah, we got a Geekin' cruise coming up February. Samantha and I were talking about this, and Rebecca, and we're saying, wow, this is so fun. We got like a dozen people already booked for the cruise, but you know, there's only so many rooms that are available on the Wish. They're going to run out. So if you're interested in coming on this cruise with us, we really encourage you to get in contact with Margita, book the cruise. We are going to have such a fun time. Or any trip they got planned for Disney World, we really appreciate you booking with the Travel and Tiaras. Just email them at travelandtiaras@gmail.com. We love being your travel guide. Just reach out to us if you like to do a trip report, book a trip with the Travel and Tiaras, or just talk to us about Disney World. Thanks for going geeking on Walt Disney World with us. We really appreciate you listening and geeking with us every single day. We love you, geeks. Have a magical day, and I hope all your dreams come true.